Good mythical afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Ayala with your notes for 1.2 types of map of review. As always, please make sure that you're writing your notes as we go and you're answering the questions as they appear on the Edpuzzle. So let's get started. So this section has two major objectives. You should be able to identify the different types of maps and describe the issues with distortions on a map. So from there, let's look at what is a map. Well, a map is a picture or representation of a portion of the Earth's surface, from the whole entire world to, let's say, the state of Florida or the United States or North and South America. But there are issues because maps are never going to be perfect because we're taking a spherical object, aka the Earth, and we're flattening it out into a map, something like this. So when we look at a map like this, and we're looking at for those distortions, near the poles, North and the South Pole, you're going to see much more distortions than around the equator. And that's because when we take that sphere and we flatten it out, we keep the equator, but this area usually gets all distorted and weird looking. And we've got to be very aware of that. A lot of the times, it's because maps were originally designed to show waterways because it's easier to trade on water, which is why there's a lot of distortions on these maps. And if you've ever taken a 3D object and tried to put it into a 2D plane, it is very difficult to prevent it from having any distortions. So you got to be aware that they're not going to be perfect, but it's the best that we're able to do when we take a 3D object and flatten it out to a 2D object. How many types of maps there are? Infinite maps. Whatever you're looking for, you can probably find a map about it. Climate, resources, political parties, religions, regions, resources, whatever you want. But let's look at the ones we're going to be focusing on for this course. So the first one is a physical map. It illustrates physical features of an area, such as mountains, rivers, and lakes, and also elevation, or the amount of land above or below sea level, sometimes known as altitude as well. So be aware, we're going to be looking at this in particular when we talk about Rocky Mountains, the river basins, and the lowlands near the different oceans and the Gulf of Mexico. From there, political maps. This is one that we're going to do a lot of. It shows state and national boundaries, capitals, and major cities. In particular, as the United States grows from the eastern coast to the west coast, we're going to be looking at how all these states change shape, how the United States gains more land, and how the territory split apart into the states that we have now. From there, we are looking also at thematic or special usage map. And these are maps or charts that are specially designed to show a particular theme or a specific item. Take, for example, a road map. That is a thematic map or a special usage map for roads. Very simple. You've got this. You've got this. So the ones we're going to be looking at are climate maps, which give general information about the long-term climate in a region, including precipitation. So climate is the weather patterns over a long period of time, hundreds of years, while the weather is what's occurring right now at this moment outside. So take, for example, today, the weather is hot, and the climate in Florida is tropical to subtropical. It just happens that today, the climate and the weather lines up. But when we get those cold snaps every once in a while, our weather is different than the climate, and that's okay. Weather, short term, in the immediate, climate, long term, or over hundreds of years. And the last one that we're going to be looking at this year is an economic or resource map. And these feature major types of natural activities or resources in the area. So as we go throughout American history, what different regions of the U.S. do changes. So take, for example, Florida on this map has a whole bunch of little raindrops. That's for our natural gas that's mostly around the West Coast. We also have like this little plant thing because we're an agricultural state. I would probably add one more, tourism. That's the one I would add, maybe like little Mickey ears, because we're the largest tourist destination in the world. When you think of Florida, you think of hot, oranges, the Space Coast, and Mickey Mouse and Universal. Thank you very much, and this is the end of your lecture, and have a great rest of the day.